Roy Johnson with Vancouver Housing Authority, and I want to thank you all for coming here today. We're very excited about this project, and I think when you go through it and see the rooms and the layout, you'll see why we have pride in it. To get us started, I have asked our board chair, Joan Cayley, to make a couple of comments.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm looking out in the audience for any board members. I do see Roy Hakala, who was on the board when we first began to talk about Tenny Creek. Can you wave your hand? There he is. Great to have. He was my seatmate right next to me, so I learned a lot from him about development and costs. So, but I also want to welcome all the rest of you to this grand opening of Tenny Creek. And I don't know if most of you know, but I'm actually, I'm a community health nurse. That's what I do in my real life. And I teach community health nursing, and that's why this project is particularly dear to me, because it's going to address one of the big issues we have in our community about those vulnerable individuals with behavioral health issues that really we haven't had a place for them before. So it's indeed an opportunity and an important day for Clark County as we mark the opening of this very much needed facility, something that's very near and dear to my heart. VHA started working on this project in 2018 and secured funding in 2019 for a 2020 start for construction. Tenny Creek is a 40-unit development offering assisted living services, which is different, for many of you that may not know, is different than long-term care services. It's a higher level where people get help with their activities of daily living and their IADLs, which is things like budgeting and those things that we all take care of in our lives. So that's what assisted living does, and people that require more care require a higher level of care than what we see in assisted living. Tenny Creek is going to be staffed 24/7 with employees who are trained and accustomed to working with this population that Tenny Creek intends to serve. Due to their complex medical needs and difficulty living independently, the people who will live here will stop the cycle of homelessness, incarceration, and stays at shelters in Western State Hospital, as well as multiple visits to emergency rooms. It took a lot of support from the community to put together the funding for Tenny Creek. As you can see on the information sheet provided, funders included the National Development Council, providing the low-income housing tax credit equity, following our approval for LIHTC funding by the Washington Housing and Finance Authority, the Washington Department of Commerce Housing Trust Funds, Clark County Funds, a direct state capital grant, and VHA equity. Operations will be supported by Medicaid and rental subsidies from VHA that will be received as a result of HUD's approval to designate these units as public housing. Since the operational cost of the facilities of this nature are high, Clark County approved the use of a local sales tax fund to bolster the startup, and we are hopeful that a Department of Commerce operations application will be approved for ongoing support. These clients really need support to be able to be stable in this kind of assisted living housing. We want to thank the Washington Department of Social and Health Services with the assistance we have received so far. We are still waiting on license approval and will begin tenant occupancy in June. I think we've gotten have we gotten the certificate of occupancy yet? Not yet. We did. Okay, good. I saw the sign out front. We value the support we have already received and look forward to our local partners joining together to enhance the supportive service opportunities at Tenny Creek. And we owe our success to all of you who are here in the audience who stood and cheerleaded us as we worked on this project. And so before I end, I want to see if there's any other board members here that I can acknowledge. Okay, if not, I know they're here in spirit because this project is very important to all of us on the board. So I'm going to turn it back over to Roy.
Thank you, Joan. And you could tell that Joan is passionate about this kind of program that we're offering here. So I know she'll be a big help as we're moving into the new project. Before we go to our distinguished speakers, I wanted to make some acknowledgments as far as how this project came to be, or came together. We worked with MWA architects to do the architectural work. I'm not seeing anybody from back here. We got MWA back here. And then the contractor, Walsh, representatives over here. And they seem to do it's like a seemingly adequate job here. So we thank you for that. Actually, I think it's a pretty remarkable facility, and you'll all see that. And one of the other things about these two great companies is that they generously agreed or offered to provide some funds to VHA for people that need some incidentals when they move in and don't have it in our supportive services. So we're very thankful for their generous offer, and that we'll accept that offer. I also wanted to acknowledge Vanessa Gaston. Vanessa Gaston is with the county, and she is very knowledgeable about the needs of homeless as well as those with behavioral health needs. And so we're going to be relying on her quite a bit. And, you know, when we have something come up 3 in the morning, we know who to call. And then also the operator here is Concepts in Community Living, and the executive, or the director back there is sitting down, Gerardo, and the other members of CCL. So they'll be around to answer questions and to guide the tour. And then finally, although he probably wasn't expecting it, I do want to acknowledge Chad Trubinsky, who is our representative in the head Portland office. So all of these individuals were very important to us in being able to have this all come together. Now, we've had a couple of people that unfortunately have not been able to make it to this event. One is, it looks like Julie Olson had a conflict, and then also someone from the Department of Commerce was not able to come. So I am going to go ahead and jump forward and ask our very distinguished Representative Harris to make some comments.
Hey, thank you, Roy, so much. I think one of the rare privileges as a state representative is to spend your money. Some of my family have experienced some of the needs that go on in this community that's going to be served here. I think we all have been touched by both mental illness, complex behavioral health issues. As a state representative, this is one of the facilities when it came that I was very aware of and very supportive of. I was not alone, though. I think Representative Wiley's here. You'll hear from her. She was highly supportive. In fact, all the delegation from both the 17th, the 18th, and the 49th, all the state representatives and the senators all supported this project. The need goes on. I'll admit this probably is not the cheapest way of doing it, but I've got to be honest with you. I think, as Roy said, these are complex issues that these individuals are having. We need to address that. I'm just glad I'm in a community that actually recognizes that and has done something about that and continues to do things about that. I will continue to be very supportive of this. This and other issues that come up in our community that deal with the homeless issue. These are very complex issues that are not easy to resolve and will not be resolved immediately, but require us to sustain and to continue to fund. And I will be one of those that will do that. I just appreciate that opportunity. I think it's a rare privilege in my life to serve as a state representative, and so appreciate the opportunity to represent you. That's all I have, Roy, unless you want me to go on and bore them to death. Carly, I really appreciated your comments. I think it covered a lot. 40 units does not meet the capacity that we will have in our community of these complex behavioral needs, and I'm assuming we will probably see other facilities that will be needed. Thank you so much.
She's there.
She's there.
No worries, Representative. Good afternoon. It's so nice to be here with all of you, and it's so nice to see you all here healthy. I'm Alicia Topper. I'm your Clark County Treasurer, but today I have the privilege of speaking on behalf of the Washington State Housing Finance Commission, and I would like to also represent Claire Petersky. She is the manager of the multi-family housing and community facilities programs. It's a big job. She says it takes lots and lots of coffee. So thank you for driving down from Seattle to be with us this afternoon. Since I'm wearing my commission hat today, my comments are going to be specifically focused on the low-income housing tax credit. The commission is really dedicated to financing housing that is affordable to Washington residents, and that's at all income levels. We are also committed to racial equity in housing, a very large initiative that we've launched in the last couple years, and we're very committed to it. I was appointed to the commission in 2017 when I was a Vancouver City Council member, and me and my colleagues were working fervently on trying to find solutions to our increasing homeless and affordable housing crisis that we were facing back in 2014. Unfortunately, those challenges are still here today, and they were growing. So one of the particular interests are projects like this one that are really going to be able to offer communities the intensive services and support that are crucial to giving them the path to a healthy and sustainable life. So thank you so much to the representatives and senators and to everyone in this room who helped make this project possible. It's an incredible model that we should be looking at all across our state. And I'm also happy to say that the commission was able to help build Tenny Creek by allocating federal funds. These housing tax credits helped the Housing Authority raise $7 million to be able to put back into this project, which is through the tax credits to investors, and so those investors help make this possible. The Housing Credit Program is Washington's largest source of funding for affordable housing, bringing millions of federal dollars to our state. Working in tandem with state and local funds, the Housing Credit has built more than 100,000 affordable homes in Washington. Because it is so flexible and can serve all kinds of residents and communities, it is also a key tool for housing equity. Most projects like this are simply not financially possible without the tax credit, so federal resources need to be there to do the heavy lifting. We can help prop up those local funds and make them stretch. That's why the Commission hopes that this year the U.S. Congress will expand and improve the program by passing the Affordable Housing Credit Improvement Act that is being championed right now by Washington's Congress members. And here today we are seeing the power of public and private partnership, and it really helps change lives through affordable housing. On behalf of the Housing Finance Commission, congratulations to the Vancouver Housing Authority, and also very much congratulations to every person who will make this place their home. So thank you so much for having the Commission represented today, Roy, and I would like to introduce our next speaker, Representative Sharon Wiley, and I do have some comments just that I want to share with the group. Representative Wiley has served in the 49th since 2011, but prior to that she was in government relations working for local governments, mostly the counties, and she also was on the board of the Council for the Homeless, and I think Community Affordable Environments, ACE. And so her work with affordable housing is long-standing, and she's very passionate about this. So I'm excited to welcome you to the podium, Representative, and thanks for all of your work.
This is one of the most exciting things that I get to do. As you just heard, I care about affordable housing, and I care about the different populations that need different kinds of programs. As long as I've been in the legislature and lobbying the legislature, there are ideas coming from communities on what the needs are. And there are a lot of tools. Those tools are complex. You've heard a little bit about that already. But we have people with complex needs. Our housing authority here in Clark County is one of the best. This last legislative session, we worked with housing authorities all over the state, and I see that Andrew Calkin is here from the Seattle or King County Housing Authority. We partnered on a little bill to make sure that those who provide housing won't be facing costs, increased costs that are unnecessary, and would cause the cost of providing that housing to go up. There was a little interpretation of an unintended consequence in an audit report that could have jeopardized the good work that's being done all over the state. It was a short session. Paul Harris, Representative Harris, was again my partner in doing good work. And we got a little bill that a lot of people didn't want to pay attention to through that 1975 that's going to enable housing authorities to continue to do the good work that they do to take care of the facilities that they provide for the different populations. The people that are going to be living here are one slice. They are going to represent a growing slice of people who are medically fragile and have challenges in independent living. And if we want to be the kind of society, the kind of community that I believe in and that I believe Vancouver and Clark County represent, we're going to have to pay attention. Fortunately, we have a lot of different tools, and there will be more. And we have a lot of good data that tells us where the needs are and the kinds of things that work. We have a housing authority here that pays attention to that data and comes up with programs that work and has the skills, knowledge, and ability to put the streams together to bring something together like this in a reasonable period of time. I'm very, very proud of the work that our state does partnering with counties and particularly what my county does working with other counties to make sure that we protect the people that are most vulnerable and make sure that there's affordable housing for everybody. We have a long way to go, but we're not done, and we will keep doing it. Thank you very much.
I'd like to echo what Representative Wiley indicated. I've lived and worked in many different communities, and this is the most remarkable one with the way that the delegation comes together and supports topics like affordable housing. There may be differing in other areas, but when we reach out, we always get help. So I really, really have to thank the delegation. You're just amazing. And we'll have to make sure that we let the rest of them know that as well, that we're not able to make it. Councilor Olson, I had asked her to make comments because this is the district that she represents. But how silly of me, maybe Vanessa wanted to make comments. But if you don't, that's okay too.
Good afternoon. Can you guys hear me? So I just want to, first I want to thank the elected officials because, and we've got more projects coming. We've got some more coming. And I just want to thank everybody here, and especially Roy and your staff, because when I came 14 and a half years ago, the need to have a variety of housing for the populations that are unhoused, who have multiple complex issues, is a big need, and it's across the state. And thank you, Roy, for willing to just kind of sit down and listen and trying to experiment. This is going to be like one of the first in the state. So one of the part of this, if we're going to actually be the community we say we're going to be, we need to take some risks. We need to be innovative. We need to come together because, as you can see, it takes diverse funding. It's going to take a variety of providers to come together and make this happen. But in the end, it's what's best for our community because we are helping the most vulnerable, marginalized. And people need to realize that the people that are on the street and unhoused, they're not there by choice. Housing is expensive. Trying to get access to care can be hard. And we just need to think about how do we wrap services around them and be more centered around people. And I know we can do it. This community can do that. So I am very proud to be a part of Clark County. Our funds will continue to be part of helping you to get some other dollars so we can continue to build up a variety of housing. It's just a drop in the bucket, but it is a way that we're on a journey to move forward. So that is the way we want to try to help people understand that everybody has a role, And we want everybody to be part of that solution. Complaining doesn't help us get to where we need to be. We need to be part of the solution. So thank you all. I know it's expensive, but it's cheaper than people being in jail and prison and in the emergency rooms, okay? It's actually cheaper than Western State Hospital. We have them in our community. These are our residents. These are our community members, and we need to help take care of them. So thank you.
That was very good, Vanessa, for just being called on the spot. I'm glad it was on tape because I'm sure y'all heard her say that anything that we need to ask money for, she's there for us. And she has been really there for us with different sources of funds. Before we conclude, I just want to give you a little bit of spoiler alert that we will have some other events coming up here. There will be the opening for the Meridian, which is a housing initiatives project but has received development service assistance from Vancouver Housing Authority. That's 46 units, supportive housing, opening this summer. Miles Terrace, which is a low-income housing tax credit project. So is Meridian. And Miles Terrace is 69 for individuals 55 and older. And then Laney's, which will just be for affordable family. And we're very excited about those opening up. That's 39 units, so we got quite a few projects here that we've just been holding back on, apparently. One of the other groups that I neglected to acknowledge is my own team that has done this. So VHA, raise your hand. And so Victor and Scott have been the primary individuals in seeing the development through, and we're very fortunate to have them. Thank you very much for coming, and I hope you enjoy the tour.